Good afternoon everybody, and a very warm welcome to Mildenhall and Volmer. And today I have a video for you as you're watching it. I don't even know what to call this because it was supposed to be a different video, but because of today's events it's conspired to be a slightly different video on a similar theme. So originally this video was supposed to be can you fit a TTS chip into a Hattons 66? And this video started off at about 9 o'clock this morning or something like that. It's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and basically things have conspired as such that the video that I was going to put out this morning isn't quite what you're actually going to see. But it is to do with my 66s and to do with my Hatton 66. So let me just show you what was the 66 I was going to put it in, which Hatton's one it was. And it was this one here, which is H466034 Class 66 746 GB Rail Freight, the Royal Scotsman in the Pullman livery. So without further ado, let me take you to the layout, take you to the loco, and we'll explain some more as to what is going on with this video. So here is the Hatton 66 in question, and yes, you have not seen this particular one before. This is actually the latest arrival here on the layout, 66746. Now this particular 66 has been seen in the southwest, in my part of the world. Well, I guess it is southwest, but not extreme southwest. Basically, it's been seen around this part of the world, around Reading West, Basingstoke, Eastleigh. So it is known to this area, even though it says the Royal Scotsman. It isn't necessarily just for just exclusive luxury passenger duties. It's also used a lot on freight. So this particular one arrived yesterday or the day before, and basically I think it's the day before yesterday, and the idea of this was that I was going to test to see whether or not you could put a Hornby TTS chip into a Hatton 66. So let me just briefly talk to you about my Hattons 66746. Basically, out of the 3 Hatton 66s I have, this is the one that's caused me the most grief. But I love it in any case. It's beautiful, but it isn't without its flaws. Firstly, some of the axle boxes were loose, so I've had to glue them back in. They've literally just almost fallen off, so if I wasn't paying attention, they could have been lost on the layout forever and ever. That was part of the issue. Also, there's a complete grille missing, and you can see it's not the end of the world, so I'm not going to send it back because I have managed to work around that, so it's not a problem. Basically, the grille on the front here, that is complete, but that one on the back is completely missing. But you don't notice that, because I didn't even notice it at first. I thought, oh, well, maybe it's supposed to be like that. And it's only later on it came to light that it was actually missing. So I do have some medical gauze on there, which had sprayed up in black, fitted that over, and now you just don't tell the difference. So it's not the end of the world. It's a bit of a disappointment that it's arrived like that. It's not even in the box. It's not even like it's fallen off. It just was never fitted. And then when I removed the body, one of the little grab rails went ping somewhere. I don't know where that's gone. Still haven't found it. and then on one end it fell off completely because it hadn't been glued properly, but that was complete, so I re-glued that. So this one out of the three has been the one that's given me the most grief, but it's okay. I'm perfectly happy with it now. I mean, it's a bit of a shame that the grill's missing, but like I said, you don't really notice it, especially when it's running as well anyway. It's just a bit of an annoyance more than anything else. So it's taken me a bit of time today to try and get this video out, and the reason why it's taken me a lot of time to get this video out is because I originally had the intention to see whether or not you could put a TTS chip into a Hattons 66. And the short answer is yes and no. Basically, it does work with the converter, but you won't get any of the lights to work with it. So I tested it, I put it on there and it moved, it was fine. It ran backwards and forwards, the sound worked, but you couldn't get the lights to work at all. So, you know, if that's something that doesn't bother you, you could probably get away with it. But like I said, you do it at your own risk. So from my point of view, I took that chip out, which didn't go to waste, because basically Armistice 100, now I don't know if I can zoom out a bit. Let's try it a bit more. Here it is, 66 100. And as you can see, I've now fitted the nameplates to it, and it also has now had the sound chip that was meant to be for this one. So that kind of left me with a dilemma in terms of the chip to put into this one. And this is where my sort of problems started really, because when I ordered this from Hattons, I asked them about ordering a chip at the same time for it, but they're currently out of stock. So this kind of left me with this dilemma as to what to do with this 66, because I had it and I wanted to test it and all the rest of it. So I went to my local model shop to see Paul, and I spoke to Hattons again to double check, and they said that because I tried, so basically I tried the 66 TTS chip and that didn't work. I had another chip which also didn't work in terms of the lights. It still ran the loco, but it wouldn't run any of the lights. So you specifically needed this 6-function chip. It's important that you get a 6-function chip. However, I went to see Paul and I spoke to him about it, and the options were to get a dapole or an ESU, or there's another one as well that he mentioned, and I can't remember what the other one was. I think it was a lens, I think he said. Dapole was apparently the most favourable one in terms of its price, and pretty good decoders. Cost me £21, so it's £5 more than the Hattons chip. And basically, I fitted it to this locomotive, and the locomotive just went nuts. It went absolutely berserk. I'd fitted the 21-pin Imperial dapole decoder, which Hattons had said that you could fit any 21-pin decoder as long as it was 6-function, it would be all right. And I fitted this dapole Imperial 21-pin decoder in it, and like I said, the loco just went nuts. It just literally went off at full whack and then it derailed. It derailed and it shorted, and the chip wasn't right since. And it was a bit strange because the loco had run with the TTS chip in it, no problem, just barring the lights. It ran with another chip just without the lights. So to me, it didn't seem like a loco problem. So I got my CMEX Hattons 66 out, took the body off of that, swapped the Hattons chip onto that was in there into this one to see whether or not it was the locomotive or whether it was the chip. And this one is now perfectly happy with this chip in it. So now this has got the CMEX chip in it, and now my CMEX is currently DCC ready. And I've taken the chip back to Paul, and he's going to test it for me, and we're going to take it from there as to what happens next. I think I've had one of these Imperial decoders before, and I didn't have much luck with them. I have since ordered another 6-function chip from eBay, and this is one of the Lay's chips, and I get on quite well with those, and I'm hoping that it is a 6-function Lay's chip, and it was extremely cheap. It was like just £11. So it's £10.75 for the actual chip and another £1.10 for the postage. So if that works, then that's going to be the way forward for any Hattons 66s that I get, if any more turn up. So I'm hoping that chip, when that arrives, can go straight into a CMEX and there won't be any issues. So I just need to find out this afternoon what's going to happen with the chip from Paul, as to what happens next with it, as to whether or not it's faulty or not. I believe the chip is faulty, because like I said, you shouldn't just put a chip into a locomotive, stick it on the track, and then it just goes shooting off around the layout. And I literally had no control over it. So anyway, that chip was then put into the CMEX to test, and it just shorted out again on the CMEX. So the chip's gone back, and hopefully it'll be tested and sorted out. So we now have this 66, not without its flaws, but it's here and it's running, and hopefully it will run fine. Oh, there it goes. Right, so off it goes. So moving on, like I said, we've now covered the chips and the Hattons 66. And so here is my Freightliner 66, which I've done some work on previously. I've since done some more work to it, and like I said, I promised you that if I did any more, I would get back to you and let you know what I've done. And as you can see, the body's now had a bit of a going over as well. So that now looks like it's done some work and looks like it's seen better days and can do with a bit of a bath. But generally speaking, I'm really, really pleased with it. I won't go any further than that with it. I really like it as it is, and moving forward, I may just go as far as the chassis on the 66s as opposed to the bodies as such. But I do like what I've done on this one, and it runs really well as well. And like I said, just to quickly cover 66-100, I've now since added the nameplates, and it has sound fitted, which should have gone into the Hattons 66. So this is 66-747, and this essentially still looks the same. The only thing that I've done additionally to this is I've added, on the real one, there's a thin blue line that runs just above the headlights. And basically I've now added that to the front end on both ends. And also, if you look further down, something that I hadn't noticed, which I have since corrected, is that when I purchased this, I didn't realise that this vent here on the top, it was just blue moulded plastic. It was just like this, just moulded blue. It hadn't been picked out. And on the real one, it was actually painted black. So I decided to give that a spray coat of black and pick that out. So that's another little bit of detail added to this particular 66. So moving on to a layout update for you. Basically, I've done some work in the filler yard, and I've realigned all the tracks here all the way across in this new section. So I've decided, because originally I was considering creating another carriage shed to go over on this side, but I've decided against that. And so all I'm going to do is just basically keep it relatively simple, just ballast it, do some greenery on it, and just keep it relatively simple and blend it into the main layout. But I've also realigned the whole lot so I could fit in an extra siding. So instead of having 5, I've now got 6 roads on this extension piece, with additional 3 sidings along the back here, which go into the carriage shed, which is where the 2 EMUs are, the 2 South West Trains EMUs are, and the 150. So that's given me quite a bit of scope to basically add some more trains into the filler yard. I've got the ballast to do. I'm hoping to get through that this week and to do that as and when I can. And finally, at this end of the layout, what I've decided to do here is I've tried to just blend this in as best I can and keep it relatively simple and cheap as I can. The warehouse on the end here was a donation from Rachel over at Mini Wistaston Junction, if she's still around, and basically she gave me a load of those, and I've actually thought I had some more left and I can't find them anywhere, so I don't know what happened to them. So I had to make my own, which is this one that I've made. Basically this is some foam board and plastic card, and I took the one that she gave me and used that as a template, drew it onto the foam board, and basically cut the shape across with the scalpel, and basically put some brick plastic card on it. And I had some fencing left over, so I've added the fencing left that I had left over and just added and stuck it to the back there. This is still removable, so this bit still just butts up against that back piece there. So again, that just kind of tidies up that scene a little bit more. There's still more to do, and so I'll be still doing some more, but hopefully it's not looking too bad actually. I quite like it as it is, and like I said, I'm just going to keep this end relatively simple, because then when I have to lift it and move it, it's A, less things to move, and B, it's less weight. So that's the whole point of it, just to try and keep it as light as possible. And like I said, if I spin you around, you can see how it kind of joins the rest of the layout. So now what I need to do is kind of bridge the gap between the 2 bits, so I can marry what's the main layout onto this part of the layout, the filler yard sort of side of it, and just tidy it up and make it look reasonably tidy and neat. I've got the ballast, so it's just a matter of doing that, so that'll be getting done over the next few days, which is the reason why there isn't much in the way of traction in the filler yard yet, because there is some rolling stock that I really want to get out, that I really want to play with, but I haven't really got anywhere to put it except into this filler yard. But I don't really want to do that until I've finished sorting out the filler yard and ballasting it. So that's going to be my next job over the weekend, maybe even tonight even. If I do end up doing it before I go back to work next week, I'll do another quick video and a quick update and let you guys know what I've done along here. So this concludes the end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a slightly kind of different video to what I had planned for you, but essentially the things to take away is that a Hornby TTS chip conversion on it on the Hattons 66 will work, but not with the lights. So that's the thing. So it will run the motor and it will run the sound, but to be honest, it's not really worth it. So that's why I've taken the sound chip out of it. So whether or not you buy a proper sound chip for it and get it all working as it should is probably the best bet, to be honest. You can't use any other decoders for it that are non-sound. It's got to be a 6-function 21-pin chip. But like I said, I've put a Dapple Imperial decoder in that and it didn't like it. So whether it was a dodgy chip or whether it's just it doesn't like Dapple decoders, I don't know. So it's either wait till the end of the month, which is what Hattons have said to me, to get a chip of theirs, or whether or not like I said, I've ordered another one, Lay's DCC chip from eBay. So I think that's going to be my best bet, and hopefully when that arrives, I can fit that back into the CMEX, and hopefully that will just run like it did before. So that's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, until the next time, it's goodbye from Mildenhall and Volmer. Bye bye.